You're in the middle of a deadly boss encounter, and the party at large has decided to flee. One person disengages and runs. The other person disengages and runs. And another player takes the dodge action and runs. Not taking the disengage action will likely get this player character killed, and the other players know this. What do? Do you insist that they take the disengage action? Because if they go down, then that means that the cleric will need to go back into the fight and revive them, and then the cleric might die, and then if the cleric is going back in, then the other people need to go back in to support them, and it's just a snowball effect. What do? This one player's action affects the entire party. This one player action is starting a snowball effect that you know is going to start and take the game in a direction that you don't want. But it's just because another player at the party is playing the game. What do? This is MGM. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of MGM. I am your host Kai, and today we are going to be talking about managing and enabling collaborative gameplay in your tabletop RPG role-playing sessions. Tabletop RPG role-playing. Yes, RPRP. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about ways to enable the party around you to act more collaboratively in their sessions and not just worry about what they would do either as the player or what their character would do, and discuss a little bit of the gray area that comes along with it, like the situation that I talked about in the start of the video. In that situation, you don't want to take away another player's agency and power because they should control their own character and they have every right to control their own character, but that action is going to impact the rest of the party in a way that you don't want it to. So before that happens, it's natural to try to do damage control and try to say to that other player, hey, what you are doing is wrong because it is leading to a place that I don't want to go. And honestly, that's not entirely wrong, but it's not entirely right either. It's a gray area, and today we're going to talk about 3 things that will help you make a decision when situations like this pop up. Number 1. The first thing to keep in mind is that when you are playing D&D with a group of people, you are never acting independently. Even if you're on your own doing your own thing, you are playing a game with everyone. You are part of a committee. Every character in a D&D group is never just a representation of themselves. They are a representation of the party at large because the things that that character does influences everyone else that is playing. So you are never making a decision for just yourself. You are making a decision for everyone at the party with every single thing that you do. Unless you're playing a one-on-one, in which case, all power to you, you have all the power. So what does that mean? What does it mean to consider your actions in terms of a committee of people and not just thinking about yourself and what you would do as a player and what your character would do? Well, it means that you are going to be in a constant state of compromise to incorporate everyone at the table, both the characters themselves and the characters that they're playing. And this can be really frustrating for people, especially the min-maxers out there. Oh my goodness, I have seen some heated conversation about battlefield tactics and action economy and optimization of builds with magical items and all of that stuff. That's a conversation for another day, but point being, people get really passionate about this because in D&D, for all intents and purposes, especially in the early game, death is permanent. When you are in a battle, it is a high-stakes game where you are in the position to lose everything. And that provides some real tension. And when there's tension, there's heated emotions. And when there's heated emotions, things can go bad sometimes. So when you're in that situation where one wrong move could get the entire party killed, take a step back from both perspectives, both on the outside looking in and on the inside looking out. If you are that player that is in control of that action that could get the entire party killed, think about what's the most fun. Think about how everyone else feels. Don't think about what your character would do. Don't think about what you want to do. Think about what everyone is feeling at that moment. Then think about what you want to do, and then think about what your character wants to do, in that order. I'll say that again. When you are going to make a decision that drastically affects everyone that is playing the game, consider everyone else's feelings, then consider your own, and then consider your player characters. And I know what some of you may be thinking, why should I consider what other people want to do before I consider what I want to do? I'm in the spotlight. I should consider what I want to do before that. Well, here's the problem with that. If you aren't thinking about it, you're going to default to what you want to do anyway. So if you keep this in mind, it will help you take a step back and look at it from everyone else's perspective, and that will inform what you want to do. I promise. If you take a step back and consider what everyone else is feeling first, it is going to better inform you on what you want to do. Thinking about it, I guess there is a time to have fun at other people's expense in D&D, but only if you are a very close group of friends that get along really well outside of the table. You hang out all the time and you have verbally communicated with each other like, hey, I'm gonna mess with you. And the other person says, great, I'm gonna mess with you. Like, that can be really fun. So long as everyone has agreed to it prior and everyone knows about it, it can still be a great time. But the default should be considerate, because you're in a committee. Have a committee mindset for every decision that you make, especially ones that are going to drastically affect people other than yourself. Number 2. The second thing we're going to talk about is fairly simple to say, but a lot more difficult in practice. Don't fight. Collaborate. When you're playing a tabletop RPG, you want to play the character that you made, and a lot of times, the character that you make is going to be very different from the character that someone else has made. So, in other words, the decisions that you want to make in pivotal moments are the exact opposite of the decisions that another character would want to make. When you are making a pivotal decision that will affect everyone at the table in D&D, you also need to consider what has happened in the past. Because we are all playing this game together and we all want our time in the spotlight. And to enable the most fun game that you can, sometimes you gotta take a step back even when there is a really cool moment, because not everyone can have all the really cool moments. It's not a thing. The diplomat approaches the bard and asks, hey, have we met before? The bard responds, yes, I am King of House Arendont. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Roll deception. As the bard is distracting the diplomat, I take out my dagger and slit his throat. True, depending on the situation, that could be the thing that you wanted to do, and it could be all an elaborate ruse. But in this situation, let's just assume that the bard was actually trying to interact with someone that apparently was linked to their backstory. And all of a sudden, this rogue is like, oh, that diplomat, if we kill them, then all of our problems will go away, and they come to all of these conclusions on their own, and then they take action. Collaborate with your fellow players. Having an environment where everyone is enabling and collaborating with each other is a lot better than an environment where everyone is scrounging and reaching for these amazing moments that they see, and they want their characters to do something, so they talk really fast, like maybe in the middle of a DM's description. The god approaches the pedestal, raises his hammer. I go and I use my sneak attack. I cast Divine Smite. I cast Charm Person. I rage. Or you could have an environment where the god approaches the pedestal, raises his hammer above his head, and everyone unanimously looks to the cleric. This is your god, cleric. This is the god that you worship. You can talk them down from this. We know you can. We've seen it. Please, blow us away. And then the cleric goes up and fails horrendously, and it's amazing, and they fight them anyway. But you know what? Everyone was supporting the player and bringing them up, leading them to this epic confrontation. And this happened because everyone was collaborating, and that is impossible if everyone is scrounging for moments to interact with the DM and the environment. I get it. Trust me, I get it. This is something that I have had to work on actively. Whenever I'm in a D&D session, I really want to play. I just want to sink my teeth into every little thing. But you're playing with a group. And sometimes, just taking a step back and listening is the right thing to do. Number 3. And of course, the last thing that you need to consider, which these other 2 things serve, but this is a blanket statement that covers most things, and I think it bears repeating because it's really easy to forget, and that is that this is a game. When in doubt, just do the thing that's the most fun for everyone. Fun is the most important thing at a session. Bar none. Period. If you're not having fun, there's no point. Do what will be the most fun for you and everyone else at the table. Simple. Now, the way to go about that is complex, and consult the earlier things that I talked about in this video for specifics. But when in doubt, just think, how can I make this the most fun for everyone? So let's review. 1. Collaborate. Don't fight. 2. Have a committee mindset whenever you're making an integral decision for the party. And 3. Have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun. Everything is supposed to be fun in this game. So think about what is most fun, both for you and everyone else, and that goes back to the committee mindset. But if you don't remember any of this, just think about that. Just think about what is most fun for everyone at the table. And if you keep that in mind, you'll be golden. All right, I think that'll just about do it. What do you think about everything that I just spoke about? Do you have a specific technique that you use for enabling collaborative gameplay at your table? Please let us know down in the comments below, and I hope to see you again very soon. You're fucking awesome, and until next time, later.